never been better. Things are going my way. I sleep like a baby. I never show up late for work. I don't drink whiskey. I don't know how it feels to hurt. Oh, I ain't been lonely since you said goodbye. Wish I could say I miss you, but you know I'd never lie. Well, I met somebody too. She's a model out in L.A., and she's begging me to move. She says Malibu is really great. Ain't decided if I'm going or not, but at the end of the day, I sleep like a baby. I never show up late for work. I don't drink whiskey. I don't know how it feels to hurt. Oh, I ain't been lonely since you said goodbye. Wish I could say I miss you, but you know I'd never lie. Well, I've never been better. Things are going my way. I sleep like a baby. I never show up late for work. I don't drink whiskey. I don't know how it feels to hurt. Oh, I ain't been lonely since you said goodbye. Wish I could say I miss you, but you know I'd never lie. Good little Latin thing for you. Get them feet tapping. Get ready for our big presentation here coming up shortly. Tengo la camisa negra, o mi amor está de luto. Tengo en el alma una pena y es por culpa de tu embrujo. Sé que tú ya no me quieres, eso es lo que más me hiere. Tengo en la camisa negra una pena que me duele. Mal parece, solo me quedé y pura todita tu mentira. Que maldita, malosa de la mía, que cabría te condené por beber del veneno malevo de tu amor. Me quedé moribundo, lleno de dolor. Respiré de ese humo amargo de tu adiós. Y desde que tú te fuiste, yo solo tengo la camisa negra, porque negra tengo el alma. Yo por ti pedí la calma y casi quedo hasta mi cama. Come on, baby. Te digo como disimulo. Tengo la camisa negra debajo de cualquier punto. Tengo la camisa negra y a tu amor no me interesa lo que llena su gloria. Hoy me sabe pura miércoles por la tarde, tú que no llegas, ni siquiera muestras seña. Yo con la camisa negra, tus maletos en la puerta. Mal parece, solo me quedé. Y fue pura todita tu mentira, que maldita, malas hasta la mía que cada día te conté. Por beber del veneno, malevo de tu amor, me quedé moribundo, lleno de dolor. Respiré de ese humo amargo de tu adiós, y desde que tú te fuiste yo solo tengo la camisa negra, porque negro tengo el alma. Yo por ti pedí la calma y casi pierdo hasta mi cama. Come on, come on, come on, baby, te digo cuando disimulo. Tengo la camisa negra, debajo tengo el defunto. Tengo la camisa negra, porque negra tengo el alma. Yo por ti pedí la calma. Gray GMC, please move your car. A gray GMC. Thank you. Now, walk the line. Ring five. I hope everybody's ready for a nice big presentation. A memorable moment here in Galveston, Texas. We've been looking forward to this for a very long time. It's nice to see it happen today on a beautiful day. Thank you for being with us, and it's a pleasure to be here. We are the lineup band from right here in Galveston.
take your seats. We are about to begin our program. Thank you. Chief Communications Officer, Kenosha Group.
Good morning, everybody. What a day. Can you all take your seats quickly before we start? Okay, there's a few more people coming in at the back. I was thinking it was going to be the first day of the hurricane season, but we seem to have beaten that, so very pleased. Okay, I think we're set. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Gulf Copper Shipyard here in sunny Galveston, Texas. I am Paul Barrett, the Chief Communications Officer of Davie Defense and Gulf Copper, and that's part of the Kenosha Group. It's a great personal honor to serve as your MC this morning. We're deeply honored to be joined by elected officials, Coast Guard leaders, industry partners, customers, employees, and members of the maritime community across Texas, the United States, and overseas. For those less familiar with our group, Kenosha means invest in oceans and is the parent group of Davie Defense and Gulf Copper. And while we operate internationally, Davie Defense and Gulf Copper are proudly American, focused on American jobs, American ships, and strengthening America's maritime industrial base. It's our strong belief that in a volatile world, the renaissance of Western shipbuilding will be shaped by strong allies working side by side. But there is no question that America must and will lead that effort. As a Brit, I'm a long way from home, but I've spent a chunk of my career around ships and shipbuilders. And what I've learned here in Texas is that Texans think big, they work hard, and above all, they get things done. A Texan shipbuilder is truly a force to be reckoned with, and that's why we're so excited to make this investment. So anyway, we're now here to celebrate the modernization of Gulf Copper shipyards, both in Galveston and in Port Arthur. This is a long-term commitment to Texas and the return of complex shipbuilding to the Texas Gulf Coast for the first time in decades. And thank you all for joining us for this historic milestone. To begin our proceedings, please join me in welcoming Mayor Letowski and Mayor Moses to the stage. They will offer brief remarks and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and the Texas Pledge.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. It's my honor to stand before you today, less than a month into the time as me being mayor, and already great things are happening to this island. But I can't take credit for this one. This groundbreaking is a result of hard work, persistence, and vision from people who laid the foundation long before I took office. My job this morning is simply to show up, celebrate, and make sure the right people get the recognition they deserve. So let me do exactly that. To Josh Owens and the entire team at the Galveston Economic Development Partnership, thank you for your vision, your timeless work to bring investment like this to the island. To Roger Reese, the Port of Galveston, your leadership continues to make Galveston a destination for world-class industry. And to the city administration, including former Mayor Craig Brown, whose work helped set the stage for this celebration today. Thank you. Your dedication behind the scenes is what makes mornings like this possible. I also want to thank the Hale brothers, Stephen, Leonard, and Jonathan, who built Gulf Copper into what it is today. Their decision to pass the torch to Davie Defense was not just a business transaction, it was an investment in the future of this island, and Galveston is a better place because of it. I also want to welcome Davie Defense. We're proud to have you here, and we thank you for your patience and persistence. You see, we have a saying here on the island, one we use proudly in our tourist industry. It's island time. And sometimes, if I'm being honest, that philosophy has a way of carrying over in how we do business. So thank you for sticking with us. It is definitely worth the wait, and we're proud to have you here and to grow together in the future. There's a lot of great things happening on this island, and I can tell you with confidence that there is more to come. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here, and I'm thankful. I bring you greetings from the city of Port Arthur, along with our city manager and with our staff. We're glad to be here. It is an honor to join you today on behalf of the city of Port Arthur as we celebrate this historic milestone in American shipbuilding and national defense. Today's groundbreaking represents more than a construction of ships. It represents opportunity for Port Arthur, economic growth for Port Arthur, innovation, and a renewed commitment to strengthening our nation's security. We are proud that Port Arthur has been selected as a site for this transformative endeavor. I'm thankful as a mayor of almost a year and happy to be able to have such transformation for our community. For generations, Port Arthur has played a vital role in powering America's economy through our ports, through our waterways, energy industry, and skilled workforce. This investment will create jobs, attract new talent, strengthen our workforce, and help open doors for future generations. It sends a clear message that Port Arthur is prepared to lead, to compete, and partner in projects of national importance. I want to thank Davie Defense, our state and federal partners, Governor Abbott, members of Congress, and everyone whose vision and collaboration helped make this day possible. Your confidence in our region and our people is deeply appreciated. As mayor, I'm excited about what this means for our residents, our businesses, and our young people who will see new career opportunities emerge right in their hometown. The city of Port Arthur stands ready to support this project and looks forward to a strong and lasting partnership as we build not only ships, but also stronger future for our community and our nation. Congratulations to everyone involved, and thank you for choosing Port Arthur. May God bless this project, the men and women who make it possible, and the United States of America. Thank you. Yes. I'll lead us in the pledge, if you don't mind standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next is a Texas pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. I'd like to welcome the United States Coast Guard Honor Guard and also the Ball High Choir.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, on the home of the brave, of the brave.
Okay, please be seated. I think we all agree that was truly wonderful. As I mentioned before, today's ceremony is about far more than breaking ground here in Galveston and Port Arthur. It's about an investment in American jobs, modernizing American infrastructure, and strengthening this nation's maritime industrial base. Only then are we able to deliver the next generation of ships that are going to serve the nation for decades to come. Before we begin our speeches, I'd like to recognize and thank a number of distinguished guests. Obviously, we're incredibly grateful to Mayor Listowski and Mayor Moses for their leadership and partnership on behalf of the communities of Galveston and Port Arthur. We thank Congressman Randy Weber, Senator Ted Cruz, and Governor Greg Abbott for their steadfast support for shipbuilding as a driver of economic growth right here in Texas. We're also honored to be joined by Admiral Kevin Lunday, Commandant of the United States Coast Guard, Troy Edgar, Deputy Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, Russell Vogt, Director of Office of Management and Budget, and our partners across the federal government. Together, your leadership is helping strengthen American maritime capabilities, expand the nation's icebreaker fleet, and restore critical shipbuilding capacity. Finally, I'd like to thank the many local, state, federal, industry, labor, and academic partners who have helped make this project possible. This investment reflects what can be achieved when government and industry come together and work towards a common goal. It is now my great pleasure to introduce the leader who's overseeing the next chapter of Gulf Copper and Davie Defense. Please join me in welcoming Phil Burns O'Brien, President and Chief Executive Officer of Davie Defense and Gulf Copper. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Distinguished guests, friends, and colleagues, thank you all for being here today on this proud day for Davie Defense and Gulf Copper. Today's groundbreaking isn't only about concrete, steel, and ships. It is about rebuilding capability. It is about investing in American workers and American industry and America's long-term ability to operate wherever its interests and security require. At the heart of this are the people and the communities that make this work possible. We are committed to creating opportunities that support families, strengthen communities, and secure the future of shipbuilding on the Texas Gulf Coast. We are creating opportunities for welders, pipe fitters, electricians, engineers, project managers, and most importantly, the next generation of apprentices. We're also proud to work with our friends at Texas A&M to develop a new ship production technology program, helping build the skilled workforce for the future in Galveston and Port Arthur. For more than a century, shipbuilding and maritime industries have been part of the identity of communities like Galveston and Port Arthur. Our people understand hard work in hot and humid conditions like today. They understand what it means to build things that matter. That's a big reason why we chose Texas as our home in America. We will invest up to $1 billion into these facilities and expect to create more than 2,400 direct jobs across Galveston and Port Arthur in the years ahead. Those jobs will support many thousands more across Texas. We remain proudly a people business, and behind every job is a person, a family, a future. Our goal is simple: to build world-class shipbuilding facilities and a workforce that can compete with anyone, anywhere. I recently had the opportunity to attend the retirement celebration for Steve Hale, the previous owner of Gulf Copper, and what he said resonated with me. He spoke about his greatest achievement was not simply creating a successful business, but creating opportunity for generations of peoples and families. Providing careers that allowed people to buy homes, support their families, pay off mortgages, and become role models for the next generation. We already have a strong foundation, thanks to Steve, his brothers, Pat, and the rest of the Gulf Copper leadership team. A culture defined by hard work, commitment, and accountability. Our responsibility now is to build on that foundation by strengthening the relationships with educational institutions, supply chain partners, and the broader business community across the region. Our commitment is to build on that foundation and honor that legacy. This workforce has built an outstanding reputation over decades. Most recently, Huntington Ingalls gave us high praise for the work that we're doing on the Arleigh Burke program. Our job now is to invest, expand, and upgrade the tools available to our workforce, and the sky is the limit in terms of what they can achieve. In the years ahead, we will be tested, maintaining ships, building the next generation of American icebreakers, but we don't underestimate this challenge. We will deliver on time and on budget. As Davie begins the next chapter in Texas, we do so with enormous respect for the people and the legacy that came before us. To the people of Galveston and Port Arthur, thank you for welcoming us. We are proud to be part of your communities. We are proud to invest in your future. Let's start building together. Now for the best bit. I have the absolute honor to welcome an individual who epitomizes what I've just said, an individual who is the glue that holds the team together, a role model for this and for future generations, Pat Gilroy, the CFO of Gulf Copper. Pat, over to you.
Good morning, everyone. When I look around this yard, I don't see just docks and equipment. I see our people, our friends, our families. Most of all, I'm grateful. I'm just so grateful to the Lord for his blessings and for bringing us all together for this incredible milestone. Along these piers, generations of Gulf Copper people built more than vessels. They built livelihoods, neighborhoods, and a deep sense of pride. With the talents God gave them, gave each of us, They helped make our company and Texas a place where hard work launches things that last. We want to honor those gifts and leave things better than we found them. This groundbreaking represents the next chapter in a history already written by thousands of hardworking Texans. Port Arthur and Galveston have long been the backbone of our operations, and together, they are the foundation for the future we are building. Y'all can clap for that if y'all want to. Today, as shipbuilding enters a new era of technology and innovation, Gulf Copper is ready. We come from generations of builders and problem solvers. With God's guidance, the next great chapter of shipbuilding will not only honor our past, it will be built right here by the people of these regions. To our employees and families, thank you. To our community partners in Galveston and Port Arthur, thank you. And to our new partners at Davie Defense, thank you. Thank you for believing in our extraordinary workforce and our shared future. Thank you, all of you, and God bless you all. Now, I am pleased to welcome James Davies, co-founder and CEO of Inocia, to the stage.
Thank you, Pat. I don't think I can beat this, so I'll try. Good morning. Thank you, Governor Abbott, Senator Cruz, Congressman Weber, Director Vogt, Admiral Lundy, Deputy Secretary Edgar, Galveston Port Director Roger Rees, and all our distinguished guests, and of course President Trump, whose leadership made this possible. This is one of the proudest days of our group's history. It is a proud moment for Gulf Copper, for Galveston and Port Arthur, for Texas, and most importantly, the United States. Today marks the beginning of a new chapter in American shipbuilding. Jerry. What begins here in Galveston is about more than building icebreakers. It's part of a broader national effort to restore American maritime strength. For more than 3 decades, much of the Western world has assumed that major conflict was becoming a thing of the past. And as a result, industrial capacity, including shipbuilding, was allowed to shrink. History has a habit of reminding us, specifically, that peace is preserved not by hope alone, but by preparedness and industrial capability. Industrial capability and capacity cannot simply be switched on when needed. It must be built, sustained, and continuously improved. That's why shipbuilding matters. Ships are amongst the most complex products any nation can manufacture. Building them requires skilled workers, advanced engineering, strong supply chains, and long-term commitment. We decided to bet on America because America decided to bet on itself. Under President Trump, America recognized that maritime power matters, that sovereign industrial capacity matters. Staples, damn staples. That manufacturing matters, and that economic security and national security are ultimately inseparable. America is not alone in this effort. Finland, Canada, and other allies are mobilizing as well. But when America decides to act and others gain confidence, they move faster. And this momentum builds, and that flywheel turns. And that's what we're seeing here today. America does need new industrial capacity to compete and lead in a more dangerous world. And our team is committed to building that capacity, that capability, right here in Texas. I also want to recognize the many leaders and public servants across this administration: the United States Coast Guard, the state of Texas, the ports and cities, Galveston and Port Arthur, who make this possible. Without you, it couldn't happen. In fact, the fact that it's happening is incredible. Let me pose a question. What is more difficult and ultimately more expensive? Remembering the lessons of yesterday or repeating the experience so that we are forced to learn them again? Well, that brings me to another project that means a great deal to Texans. Battleship Texas. Is the last surviving dreadnought battleship in the world. Great name, Dreadnought, Dread Nothing. Commissioned in 1914, served in both world wars, and witnessed some of the defining moments of the 20th century. She reminds us that maritime power has always been central to America's story and will remain central to America's future. We were proud to support her restoration and look forward to helping preserve this extraordinary symbol of Texas, American heritage, so that people don't have to relearn the hard way. Shipyards anchor communities to something greater than a business. They are connected to a national mission to build and sustain the vessels that support both security and commerce. That's why we're committed to building ships in Galveston and Port Arthur, not for years, but generations. The United States did not become a maritime power because it built ships. It became a maritime power because it built shipyards. And we are proud to be part of this historic effort. We do bring experience, decades of experience, and some world-leading expertise in icebreaking and complex shipbuilding, and with a commitment to deliver. In my view, there is no better place to invest in the future of American industry than Texas, a state with an unshakable belief in building big things and backing those willing to try. But most importantly, I want to thank the men and women who will pick up their tools, wrenches, cutting torches, drafting pencils, if anybody still uses them, or sit behind a computer, working on the plans, the logistics, the whole ensemble to turn this into a reality. Policies may create opportunity, but real capability is built by people in places like this. I want to also acknowledge our Finnish and Canadian colleagues. One of the great strengths of Western Alliance is that trusted partners can combine experience, technology, and investment. Expertise, all in the pursuit of shared strategic objectives. And I want to again thank OMB and Homeland Security for creating the opportunity for us to offer, and to the Commandant, because without the Coast Guard, there would be nobody to accept that offer. And finally, one of the things I admire most about the United States is that when this country decides something truly matters, it moves with extraordinary ambition confidence, speed, and purpose. And that spirit is all around us here today. We are honored to build alongside each and every one of you. Thank you, and God bless Texas. Now, I want to introduce my friend of more than 20 years and business partner and trusted colleague, Alex Weisfield, chair and, frankly, quite often, the balancing force to some of the things I drive towards. Alex, please.
Thank you. It's great to be back here in Texas. I spent quite a bit of time here in the early days of this group. In fact, when I look back on everything we've built as a group, I come to realize that every challenge, every acquisition, every success, and every setback was helping to prepare us for the next phase. When we bought a deteriorated shipyard in Canada that had fallen on its knees and transformed it into a shipbuilding giant. When we took a commercial ship and converted it into one of the world's most successful combat support ships and introduced new ways of operating ships. When in Helsinki, we took a shipyard, the global leader in Arctic technologies that holds the keys to the Arctic, that had fallen into the hands of our adversaries, and we acquired it and made it a force multiplier for the West. When we took Finland's largest heavy industrial fabricator, underused because of its reliance on a market which no longer existed, and turned it into the country's highest capacity steel fabricator for the shipbuilding industry. The list goes on, but as we built an international group, building and operating shipyards, ships, technologies, teams, systems, processes, I often wondered where it was all leading. And today, standing here in Texas, I think I know. It was preparing us for this very moment, the opportunity to help America to rebuild one of the great foundations of national power, shipbuilding. I have a deep appreciation for this country personally. During the early part of the last century, much of my family, fleeing Europe, came to the United States, seeking something very simple, opportunity, security, and freedom. And like many before them, they found it. America gave them a future. And that's why this here today means actually so much to me, because it's a chance to repay that gratitude. America is the greatest country in the world. No nation has done more to advance freedom, innovation, prosperity, and security, not just for its own people, but for countless others around the globe. Yet even great nations have areas where they must renew themselves, and one of those areas is shipbuilding. America built the fleets that secured the oceans, protected commerce, and shaped the modern world. But over time, its industrial strength in shipbuilding diminished. Not because America lost its ability, and not because it lost its talent, but because it's turned its attention elsewhere, just as other countries in the West did, as they enjoyed the dividends of relative peace during the past decade. But today, all that changes. There's no better place to be doing what we're doing here in this great state. Texas still understands how to build. Texas understands industry. Texas understands scale, ambition, and hard work. The same spirit and many of the same skills that built the energy capital of the world here will build the shipbuilding capital of America right here. This is my last stop on a 2-week trip, so it's the final leg of a global journey in more than one way. I just arrived here from Finland, where we commemorated the beginning of assembly of what will become the world's most powerful conventional icebreaker. Prior to that, I was in the UK, where we're continuing to invest in strengthening NATO's naval support capabilities, as well as our activities like working with partners to develop future naval capabilities, such as autonomy and high-speed, low-signature composite vessels. As a lean and fast-moving group, we are advancing allied capabilities across the board, and the future Arctic security cutter will be a key foundation to that. I'm going to change the topic a tiny bit now. As a shipbuilder, I've always been fond of the story of Noah, not just because God chose a shipbuilder, but because it's a story about foresight. Noah was asked to build something before the need for it was obvious to everyone else. He was asked to prepare for a future challenge before the flood had arrived. In many ways, that is what shipbuilding has always been about. Great nations do not build fleets when the crisis arrives, they build them beforehand. They invest in capabilities before they're needed, they prepare for the future. And putting that foresight into practice is exactly what we're doing here today. Years from now, people will look back at this day and they'll see more than a groundbreaking ceremony. They'll see a new chapter beginning. God bless Texas. Here it's very much go big or go home, so we're going big. God bless our current and future Texan shipbuilders. Be proud, your purpose is clear. God bless this administration for everything you're doing for shipbuilding and for everything you're doing to make the world a better and safer place. And God bless the USA. Thank you very much.
Good. Thanks, Alex. It's now my honor to introduce a steadfast advocate for Texas industry, American shipbuilding, and the Gulf Coast. Please welcome Congressman Randy Weber.
Howdy. You can tell we're in Texas, right? Well, good morning, everybody. It's great to be not only in Texas, but here in Galveston today. Let me start by thanking Davie Defense and everybody gathered here today. You know, folks often throw around the phrase, this is a historic day pretty often, don't they? They really do. But you know what? Most of the time they're exaggerating. Folks, we're not exaggerating in Texas. It's not boasting, Governor, if it's fact, right? Absolutely. We're getting it done. Folks, I've called the Texas Gulf Coast home for 72 years, and every now and then you come across a moment that reminds you of how great America is and the fact that it's the greatest nation on the earth in the first place. We are witnessing one of those moments. Y'all are witnessing one of those moments right here today in Galveston, Texas. Some of y'all probably don't know it, but Galveston has the oldest, and dare I say, one of the best chambers of commerce in the state of Texas. Well, that's all right. It's all right. We just happen to have a good friend, the president of the chamber, Gina Spagnola. Stand up and give them a wave, will you? And before I get in trouble, Gina has a good friend here. Her name is Brenda Gail Weber, my beautiful bride of 49 years, 6 months, and 3 weeks. Can y'all give her a hand? She hadn't killed me yet, and I can prove it. Now listen, y'all, I have the privilege of representing the Texas 14th Congressional District, and this is the one thing this region understands. It's how to work. We move cargo. We refine fuel. We power the economy that keeps America running. When this country needed workers willing to get the job done, it found them right here on the Gulf Coast. That's who we are. You can clap for that. Folks, this coastline has spent generations strengthening America. The same communities that helped fuel America's rise as an energy powerhouse are now helping write the next chapter of American maritime strength. Give that a hand. For far too long, America has allowed its Arctic capabilities to fall behind while our competitors moved ahead aggressively. Russia has expanded its icebreaker fleet. China has advanced its so-called Polar Silk Road while investing heavily in a region that many Americans hardly ever think about. Unfortunately, while others were preparing for the future, America was standing still. Well, guys and gals, those days are over. Can we give that a hand? You bet. During World War II, America became the arsenal of democracy because we had the industrial strength to produce what freedom required. Henry Kaiser and a generation of American shipbuilders proved that there was no challenge beyond the reach of American workers. They didn't waste time making excuses. They got to work and helped secure victory and keep the world free. Y'all, the choice America is facing is not complicated. It really isn't. We can build, or we can watch others build. We can lead, or we can follow. Looking around this shipyard today, I think we've made our decision. What do y'all think? You bet. We're building and we're leading. Today, as the Arctic emerges as a new frontier for commerce, resources, and national security, this region is once again answering that call. These Arctic security cutters are proof that America is restoring the strength needed to meet the challenges of, have you ever heard this on TV back in the 60s? Space, a new frontier, right? This is our new frontier, folks, and I cannot think of a better place for that work to begin other than right here. Give Davie a hand, will you? Now, y'all don't clap so long, you're cutting into my time. I'm messing with you. This same district that helps produce 27% of America's gasoline, 35% of its natural gas, 60% of its jet fuel, and 80% of the military-grade fuel will now help deliver the vessels that carry American strength into the Arctic. Think about that for a moment. Think about that for a moment. We're going to carry American strength into the Arctic. This district that powers America will now defend America's interest in one of the most strategically important regions on God's green earth, the Arctic. Years from now, when these cutters are operating in some of the harshest waters on God's green earth, their story will have begun right here in Galveston, Texas. Y'all, I truly believe we're witnessing the beginning of a renaissance in American maritime strength, and thank God that the Texas Gulf Coast is leading that charge. The men and women behind this project are proving something generations before us already knew, that when America decides to build, nobody builds better. Can we give America a hand? You bet. When America decides to lead, nobody leads stronger. And when Americans are called upon to do great things, there is no challenge beyond our reach. So thank you all for being here today. Thank you to Davie Defense for your partnership and commitment to America. Thank you to Governor Abbott, Director Vogt. Senator, we're glad you're here. And thank you all for joining us today. Most importantly, thank you to the hardworking men and women who will bring these ships to life and carry forward a tradition of American, and dare I say Texas, excellence that stretches back generations. Now, it is my privilege to introduce my good friend who's a strong advocate for Texas, champion for American energy, and a leader who understands the importance of maintaining American strength at home and abroad. Welcome, Senator Ted Cruz.
Well, God bless Texas. Thank you, Randy. We are standing here this morning in a time of celebration. To those not from Texas, we are standing on hallowed ground. We are standing alongside Battleship Texas, which projected American strength and defended this nation for decades. And we're in Galveston, Texas. You may not know it, but Galveston was once the largest city in Texas. Galveston was known as the Queen of the Gulf Coast. Galveston was known as the Wall Street of the Southwest. Galveston was known as the Ellis Island of the South. And Galveston, most importantly to me, in 1836 was the capital of the Republic of Texas when Texas was our own nation. James, we're glad to welcome you to Texas, but we're a little bit crazy down here. We are standing here at a new dawn for the Coast Guard and a new dawn for American shipbuilding. Last summer, when Congress was passing the big reconciliation bill, the Working Families Tax Cut, also known as the One Big Beautiful Bill, when it came to the Senate, the way it operates in the Senate is that each committee chairman drafts the portion of the bill that is within the jurisdiction of that committee. I have the great honor of representing Texas and serving as the chairman of the Senate Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation. Commerce Committee has jurisdiction over roughly 40% of the U.S. economy, including the mighty Coast Guard. And so when we were passing the reconciliation bill, I had the privilege of drafting the language that would be in that bill. In that legislation, we funded over $24 billion to the United States Coast Guard. That is the single largest investment in the Coast Guard in the history of America. To put it in perspective, the annual budget of the Coast Guard is between $11 and $12 billion. In one fell swoop, we funded over 200% of the total budget of the Coast Guard. That funding was there to rebuild our fleet, to rebuild our infrastructure, to rebuild the facilities down in Padre Island. And the most critical part of that funding is to rebuild our capacity to project force and protect America in the Arctic. I'm sorry to tell you right now, both China and Russia are kicking our ass in the Arctic. That is not acceptable. The Arctic is too critical for national defense, for natural resources, for keeping America safe. We cannot see the Arctic. My focus over and over and over again is on beating China. And with this funding, we are now going to be investing billions of dollars in building polar ice cutters here in the United States of America. But not only that, we're building major shipbuilding capacity and bringing it back to the great state of Texas. Once the bill had passed, as is the nature of Washington, there was a battle about where the money would go. As my good friend Russ Vought will tell you, I spent a lot of time at the White House engaging vigorously on that question of where the money would go. Our good friends in Louisiana, for some reason, seemed to believe all the shipbuilding belonged in Louisiana. I love people from Louisiana. They make damn fine gumbo. But I'll be damned if we weren't bringing shipbuilding back to Texas, to Galveston and Port Arthur. Now, Louisianans know how to knife fight. But it turns out Texans know a thing or two about how to rumble as well. And I was very proud when President Trump announced that $3.5 billion was going to Davie Defense to build 5 Arctic security cutters and to build them here in the Texas Gulf Coast. That is going to produce over 2,000 high-paying jobs here on the Texas Gulf Coast. And mark my word, that's just the beginning, because that is going to fuel a renaissance of shipbuilding right here on the Texas Gulf Coast. A final observation about Galveston. Folks here are really particular about Galveston. It's a thing. You will learn there's a phrase that folks from Galveston will tell you, which is BOI, born on the island. And it's a little bit, there's an old line that you never ask anyone if he's a Texan. If he is, he'll tell you. And if he's not, you don't want to embarrass the guy. Well, that's a little bit the same with being BOI. If you're BOI, you will tell us. James, I'm going to make a request. Every Arctic cutter that comes off this line, somewhere on that ship, I hope and expect will be engraved into the hull BOI, because those were born on the island. And with that, I have the privilege of introducing a dear friend of mine. Greg Abbott is a patriot. He's a constitutionalist. He has been a mentor to me for more than 2 decades. 24 years ago, then Attorney General Abbott made the ill-fated decision to hire this 31-year-old kid. I hope most days he does not regret making that decision. And I had the privilege of working alongside him. He is today the great governor of the greatest state in the greatest nation in the world. He also, I got to say, just did something yesterday. There are many days I'm proud of Governor Abbott, but yesterday I found my heart beating with particular pride because he sent out on social media a meme of himself in wheelchair dunking a basketball over Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York. He's in a Spurs jersey. Donald Trump is courtside, laughing his butt off. And I'm here to make a prediction, Spurs in 6. And with that, the great governor and my dear friend, Governor Greg Abbott.
Well, thank you, Senator Cruz. Let me correct one thing real quick. The photo that Senator Cruz was making reference to about me dunking on Kathy Hochul, that was not a meme. It's a real photo. Something else Senator Cruz talked about, and that is he carried on, rightfully so, about Texas pride. I want to capture that in an explanation to some of our guests here, whether it be James Davies with Davie Defense, whether it be Russ Vogt, or others who are here who may not live in the state of Texas. Something happened today that does not happen in other states. As we pledge allegiance to the United States of America, unlike other states, that was immediately followed by our pledge of allegiance to the great state of Texas. We have pride in our state. We will fight for our state. We will advance our state. This project is just the latest example of doing that. I do want to thank Randy Weber, Congressman from this district. I want to thank James Davies. Great to catch up with him again. He and I visited about this project for a long time before it came to fruition. I wanted to help him understand what Texas can and will do for Davie's shipping, for Davie's defense, to make sure that they knew that Texas was the right location for this project. I want to thank Deputy Secretary Edgar as well as OMB Director Vogt for being here. And I want to thank Commander Lundy and the United States Coast Guard. I cannot think about the United States Coast Guard without thinking about what happened on 4th of July of last year in Kerrville, Texas. Last year on 4th of July in Kerrville, Texas, in a matter of 45 minutes, the river rose higher than the apex of this tent in just 45 minutes, sweeping people away, clinging to treetops, worried about whether or not they were going to be able to survive. And while the rain was still falling, while the winds were still whipping, the United States Coast Guard had helicopters deployed to the region that were rescuing those fellow Texans from those treetops, truly saving lives. Thank you to the United States Coast Guard for what you do for our public safety every day. I want to thank President Trump for what he did for this project today. This is a quintessential America First project. The fact of the matter is, as you've heard multiple speakers talk about already, America has had a dire need for more ships. And what President Trump understands more than any other president is we cannot farm out to other countries what we need for our fundamental everyday needs. We cannot farm out our medical supply needs to China, like what we had done before COVID. We cannot farm out to China or to Russia building the ships that we need for our national security. If we truly want to be nationally secure, we must build our own ships in the United States of America and here in the great state of Texas. This is essential for national defense, essential for international commerce. This is one of the most strategic moves any president has made, understanding what the future of warfare, what the future of international conflict, what the future of international dominance is going to look like. And also want to especially thank Davie. Davie has made an extraordinary investment into the state of Texas, into the United States of America. Texas is proud to partner with Davie Defense on this project. Texas competed for this project. As Ted Cruz mentioned, there was Louisiana. He has low regard for Mississippi because they were also competing for this project. But we wanted to make sure that Texas was the recipient of this project. So for one, we helped James Davie and others understand that when it comes to doing business, Texas moves at the speed of business. They cannot get a project done faster or better than they can get it done in the state of Texas. I want to thank the mayors of the two communities that are leading this way. One thing that we know as it concerns Texas, winning competitive projects against other states, is not just a state-led effort. It is a local, community-based effort. So thank you for the mayors of Port Arthur, as well as Galveston and their chambers of commerce and economic development leaders. Give it up for those local leaders for everything they did to get this across the finish line. And I want to thank the leader of the effort for the entire state of Texas, and that is Adriana Cruz, who joins with us here today. Adriana, I want you to stand up. What she has done is truly remarkable. No state has ever done what I'm about to say, and not even the state of Texas has ever done before what we've done now. Texas has ranked #1 for economic development projects. For 14 years in a row, we've won the national championship for economic development projects. This project we're breaking ground on today is just one of the many that leads the way. For those who want to see the vision for where Texas is going, we're going to win that award again next year, not even knowing what the competition looks like, because we have more than 400 economic development projects in our pipeline, ensuring the Texas economy is still going to grow faster than the United States of America. We also knew that this was a project that was worth investing Texas dollars in for the future of our state, the future of our country. And so the state itself invested more than $20 million to secure this manufacturing facility right here in Galveston and Port Arthur. Very important is what this project does with regard to the advancement and expansion of our workforce. To me as governor, there's probably nothing more important than ensuring that we continue to provide good paying jobs to highly skilled employees across the state of Texas. No state has invested more in training, career training and skilled workforce than the state of Texas. In the last 2 sessions, Texas has invested $8 billion to ensure we have the best trained workforce in the United States of America. With this project, it's going to keep Texas #1 as the best state for doing business. Keep Texas #1 for creating more new jobs than any other state in America. Keep Texas #1 for business expansion. And importantly, Texas through Galveston and Port Arthur, is positioned to be the manufacturing heart of America's Arctic comeback. The ships will be built in Texas, crewed by Americans, and deployed to defend American sovereignty in the fastest growing strategic theater on earth. God bless you all, God bless America, and God bless the great state of Texas.
It's great. Thank you so much, Governor Abbott. Now, please welcome Admiral Kevin Lundy, Commandant of the United States Coast Guard.
Thank you, Governor Abbott. Thank you for welcoming us today to the great state of Texas. It's an honor to be here alongside you, Director Vogt, Deputy Secretary Edgar, Senator Cruz, Representative Weber. Thank you very much for your stalwart leadership for our United States Coast Guard and all of the rest of our armed forces and our maritime industrial base. I'm very proud to be here today with our Master Chief Petty Officer of the Coast Guard, Phil Waldron, and other Coast Guard teammates representing the nearly 60,000 Coast Guard men and women, plus our 17,000 Coast Guard auxiliary volunteers that make our Coast Guard strong. I'd like to also thank our representatives, our Arctic allies of Finland and Canada who are here, our local elected leaders and members of industry, and of course, the strong workforce and leaders of Gulf Copper Shipyard. Thank you very much for being here. The U.S. Coast Guard is a vital instrument of national power. We save lives. We control, secure, and defend our border and maritime approaches far at sea. We facilitate commerce that's vital to U.S. economic prosperity and national security. And we respond to crises and contingencies that may come without warning. This is a time of historic and strategic consequence for the nation, and the Coast Guard is in greater demand by the American people than ever before. The U.S. is an Arctic nation because of the state of Alaska, and it's our first line of defense in the high north leading into the Arctic. And while Galveston, Texas may be thousands of miles from the Arctic Circle, let me be clear, the defense of our northern border and approaches in the Arctic Ocean begins with the foundation we lay here today. We have critical work to do together, and that work requires that we move with best speed. The Coast Guard currently only has 3 operational polar icebreakers, including the nation's only heavy icebreaker, the Polar Star, commissioned in 1976, and now costs more to maintain than it did to acquire. Meanwhile, Russia operates a fleet of over 50 polar icebreakers, and China has 5. Last summer, in a clear demonstration of our resolve, 3 Coast Guard cutters intercepted and chased away 5 Chinese research vessels operating over the U.S. extended outer continental shelf in the Arctic north of Alaska. We're actively countering challenges to U.S. sovereignty there, working alongside our allies. But we cannot protect our sovereign interests unless we are there, present, and operating continuously. To prevail in this area of competition, we must modernize and innovate. With our ships, aircraft, technology, operated by our dedicated men and women, we are executing President Trump's direction to secure our borders and defend our nation. President Trump's bold vision and October announcement delivered a clear mandate to expand our polar fleet with the construction of 11 Arctic security cutters. Our partnership with Finland and Canada allows us to leverage world-class expertise to deliver these new cutters rapidly, with the first delivery starting in 2028. This groundbreaking today demonstrates an important step toward fulfilling that directive by rebuilding our domestic maritime industrial base, which will restore America's maritime might. For over 75 years, Gulf Copper has been a cornerstone of ship repair and naval support. Today, through Davie Defense leadership, this site becomes an American icebreaker factory, a critical engine for restoring America's maritime might. The icebreakers in this program, built right here, will transform our service into a more agile, capable, and responsive force, permanently returning heavy icebreaking expertise to American shipbuilders. Building these cutters, these icebreakers, is only the start. With the strong support of our Secretary of Homeland Security, Secretary Mullen, the Director of OMB, Director Vogt, and Congress, we're already advancing critical shoreside infrastructure required to homeport these new Arctic security cutters starting in Alaska, ensuring that when these cutters roll out of this Texas shipyard, they'll have the permanent facilities needed to operate in the Arctic. To the skilled tradesmen, engineers, and industry partners at Davie Defense and Gulf Copper, the ships you build for the Coast Guard in this yard go far beyond steel and machinery. You are forging the ships that will allow our Coast Guard crews to operate safely in the most unforgiving environment on the globe. Every time you strike an arc, weld a seam, or lay the keel here, you are directly contributing to the defense of the U.S. homeland. Our Coast Guard men and women will sail these cutters and icebreakers into the high latitudes of the Arctic. They will rely on the pride you take in your craftsmanship to get the mission done, weather the ice, defend our nation, and safely return. We are incredibly proud and honored to partner with you in this vital mission, and we cannot wait to watch these icebreakers come to life right here in the great state of Texas. Now, although the design of the icebreakers that will be built here at Gulf Copper is, from an engineering and naval architecture standpoint, is exactly the same as the design of the first ones that will be built in Helsinki, I can't help know and feel in my bones that the ships that will be built here by the men and women of Gulf Copper are going to be a lot bigger because they're being built with big Texas pride. As I look to the horizon, we are filled with certain hope for the future. If our 236-year distinguished Coast Guard history proves one thing, with a ready Coast Guard crew, the strong support of the American people, and a vital partnership with industry, there is nothing we can't accomplish. Thank you, and Semper Paratus. May God bless our United States and the great state of Texas. I'm now very honored to introduce our U.S. Department of Homeland Security Deputy Secretary, the Honorable Troy Edgar.
Morning, everybody. So I'm Deputy Secretary Troy Edgar. I'm very honored to be here. You know, I was meeting with Governor Abbott before this, and I think I want to fill in a couple details after I heard Senator Cruz, too. So DHS, as the Deputy Secretary, I first of all work directly for Secretary Mullen. So on behalf of Secretary Mullen, we just want to say how grateful we are to be here, how grateful we are to Galveston, to Davie, everybody that has been a part of this. I also, you know, DHS, a lot of people that aren't familiar with DHS, they go, why are they here? This is a Coast Guard thing. And I think sometimes people forget DHS is the parent. We're like the headquarters for this operation. And by me being here as the Deputy Secretary, I'm the Chief Operating Officer. So I'm committed for the next 2 years and 7 months to be here and work with Davie, work with the Coast Guard, and ensure they have all the resources that they're going to need, because we need to make sure this is a success for President Trump. So, yeah. I'd like to start off again by thanking Senator Cruz, Congressman Randy Weber, Director Vogt, Governor Abbott, Admiral Lundy, the Davie Defense Leadership Team, the private industry partnerships. It's their efforts that were crucial to make today possible. Today is a celebration of American strength and an example of a partnership between private industry and government and how we can get it right and make America stronger together. So today, on behalf of President Trump, this groundbreaking ceremony is really an important first step. He's been committed to delivering the largest, most transformative Arctic and maritime investment in the U.S. history. With President Trump's vision and leadership, today would not be possible. Upon taking office last year, President Trump set out to reverse decades of decline in the U.S. shipbuilding and maritime workforce capacity. He vowed to resurrect the American commercial and military shipbuilding industry. Restarting U.S. shipbuilding in our nation is one of our great objectives and key to reestablishing maritime dominance. Like Senator Cruz mentioned, our adversaries are not standing by. They've dominated the shipbuilding for years, and as a result, they've been threatening our security, and everything going on in the Arctic. Nowhere is this more apparent in the Arctic, where our rivals are actively working to undermine the national security and sovereignty. In recent years, our enemies have increased their presence in the Arctic, working to claim their presence and strategic position in the region's shipping lanes and natural resources. President Trump understands this grave danger and poses to national security with this level of investment required to protect America's interests in the region. His view is in order to secure the Arctic, icebreakers are a strategic necessity. And the only way to do this is to have a well-funded U.S. Coast Guard. As Senator Cruz said, and we're so grateful, it's a great partnership between the President and our Congress, and especially Senator Cruz and all the folks that really helped One Big Beautiful Bill. Everybody talks about it. The Coast Guard got $25 billion, a little over 24.7. I was the previous chief financial officer for DHS, so I was here for Trump 1 when I was here, and like they said, $11 billion is normal budget, so this triples almost the capability of us being able to actually capitalize. It's the largest investment made in the Coast Guard in the Coast Guard's history. I'm very honored to be a part of that, and everybody that's here being a part of this unbelievable ceremony, we really are making history here. The investment in the Coast Guard is going to be something that will last a lifetime. And, I've been working a lot with Admiral Lundy. We've been going a lot of the different investments, not only in the Arctic, but in infrastructure and technology and a lot of the different types of capabilities, airplanes, et cetera. This has been unbelievable. President Trump's efforts have already shown results. We talked about how many polar cutters that we have. Last August, Admiral Lundy and myself and Senator Sullivan were actually in Juneau, Alaska, and we got to commission the Sorka. The Storis is a polar ice cutter. It's out there. It basically gives us 3 polar ice cutters that we're able to put into fleet. With this partnership with Davie and the partnership signed by President Trump with Finland, we're going to be able to get 11 more security cutters, and that is going to be unbelievable. So today with Davie's, with Davie Defense, it was interesting is that when I first came into the administration in the beginning of January, February, we had discussions and they were talking about this deal, and the president was talking about a deal with Finland. And, there's no doubt that the ships are going to be made here in the U.S., but this partnership is really a tremendous opportunity for us to really restart and onshore a capability that we've been missing for many years. I was a previous Navy guy in a submarine, so I never got to have the pleasure of being on the surface. But I definitely could see that, with the Coast Guard, even when I was here under the first administration, very limited shipbuilding and repair facilities. So this operation here in Galveston is going to be an unbelievable capacity that this is going to be needed, not only for us, for the Coast Guard, but also for the Navy. I think more importantly, this milestone is a big deal for us in securing our place in the race in the Arctic. We have our mutual enemies that are strengthening up the economy. Everything that they're doing, they're taking over our trade routes. And, I've been up there, like I said, I've seen this firsthand. And this is going to be a tremendous benefit and strategic value for the government, for everybody here, and especially for Galveston. Lastly, one thing I'd like to do, again, DHS is in charge of the Coast Guard, and I would just like, the Coast Guard, I know we have a big presence here. I'd just like all the Coast Guard people that are in the audience to stand up and be recognized. Yeah, we have a great Coast Guard. It's the type of work they do. You watch them. I remember I met with Russ the first administration. I was trying to get more money back before we were able to get the big beautiful bill. And somebody took a picture of the map of the U.S. and they put a circle around. They said, "This is the coast." Like, why do they need more money going out? And Russ is like, look, the Coast Guard has 11 missions across the world. This is a really important one. The Arctic mission is going to be a big deal, and everybody that is a part of this is going to have a significant part of history. I just want to end by just saying that together we're going to reclaim America's spot in its rightful place as a preeminent Arctic power. I'm so glad to be here. And again, on behalf of the DHS, Secretary Mullen, we're just grateful for everybody, and we're here behind the Coast Guard, behind Davie. We wish everybody good luck. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Deputy Secretary Edgar. Please join me now in welcoming Director of Office of Budget Management, Russell Vogt.
Good morning, good afternoon. It's good to be here in Texas. I just want to start by saying what an incredible federal delegation that you have and the team that represents you both here in Governor Abbott and in D.C. with Senator Cruz and Randy Weber. I will tell you, no one works harder than them, no one lobbies better than them. I will tell you that I will get lobbied before this event is over for the next round of projects that we do. But it is a great team. They are truly on the ball. I also want to thank James Davie. Thank you for your audacious business acumen and entrepreneurial spirit. We would not be here today if not for those personal characteristics. But I also want to say that I'm here on behalf of President Trump. I go where national priorities are. I go where there are presidential priorities. And this is not a decision that was just made at the Coast Guard, although the Coast Guard has been tremendous partners. This has not been a decision that was made at DHS, although DHS has been tremendous partners. This was a decision that was made in the Oval Office by the President of the United States, who cares deeply, not just investing in Texas, but investing in icebreakers. And if you talk with him, if you see him on the trail, and you ask him about icebreakers, he will not only know about this project, he will know about this particular contract and this particular icebreaker, and he will start to talk to you about the different steel and the different approaches with laying a keel. He is intimately involved in every aspect of this, and so it's a pleasure to be here on such a great day. It's great to be here in Galveston, Texas, a location that has always been important to our nation's economic development. For years, Galveston and nearby Houston have been a focus of our energies sector, but today it is fitting that we herald a new chapter in the region's history within a stone's throw of the great battleship Texas, the only surviving dreadnought to have served in both world wars, as Texas and Galveston in particular emerge as a strong focus point in our national maritime defenses. Today, we celebrate and promote a commitment made 9 months ago in the Oval Office between two presidents and two nations. It is also fixed at the locus point of two policy initiatives. First, the Trump administration arrived in office convinced that the Arctic and Antarctic regions of the globe were becoming increasingly important in geostrategic environment. They are regions with tremendous resources in terms of minerals, energy supplies, food stocks, and yet we recognized that we were largely inaccessible to our country. This recognition played a part in a second initiative. We had recognized in the first term that our domestic shipbuilding had become a point of insecurity. It was apparent in our naval shipbuilding program that simply adding money was not resulting in the production of new ships. We suddenly realized that our neglect of our commercial shipbuilding and commercial shipping sectors, as well as our focus on mergers and consolidation with our defense industrial base, had left us necessary reserve industrial production capacity in shipbuilding, a critical heavy industry. We had begun to formulate a plan to address this shortfall at the end of the first term, and we spent the next 4 years out of office refining that plan to a fine point. Thus, we entered the second term with a firm policy to pursue the restoration of American dominance. The Shipbuilding Office, which resides within the Office of Management and Budget, because we're the only federal entity that sees and spans across the entire federal government, undertook both the development of the nation's Maritime Action Plan and the development of the Memorandum of Understanding between the nations of Finland and the United States that resulted in the icebreaker deal and the establishment of what we call the Finland model. The icebreaker deal is crucial to the Trump administration's shipbuilding strategy. Its importance goes further than simply building the ships that will allow us to protect and promote our national interests at the pole. It also challenges us to put the heavy back into heavy industry. There is more than science involved in bending and shaping the metals that become icebreakers. There is artistry and tradecraft. The building of icebreakers will stretch our nation's industrial muscles. These ships will make us stronger in more ways than one. The Finland model, the strategy of allowing foreign shipbuilders to build initial ships of a block buy in their existing parent shipyards while making significant investments in American shipyards is new to American shipbuilding. However, the Trump administration has embraced it because it both adds capacity and competition to the American maritime base and enables us to reverse the disastrous economic trends that followed the Cold War and the years of peace dividends. We are fortunate, and I mean this sincerely, to have men like James Davie who have the vision and courage to make investments such as what we are celebrating here today. We recognized instantly that the deal he was presenting to us represented more than just a contract for 5 medium icebreakers. He was also offering us a new, modernized shipyard, equipped to build some of the most challenging ship designs in the global maritime sector. It is our hope that ultimately this shipyard will continue to contribute to our national life by producing ships for the Coast Guard, the commercial shipbuilding sector, and perhaps even our Navy, as we accelerate both its growth and its modernization through our Golden Fleet initiative. Again, we're fortunate to be working with men such as James Davie and all of the Davie's defense team in this effort. The effort to restore our nation's maritime dominance is off to a strong start. If the President's executive order represented the administration's policy statement, the Maritime Action Plan represented our roadmap. And the combination of last year's One Big Beautiful Bill and our budget request represent our commitment to shipbuilding. All told, in our first 17 months in office, we have either requested or received funding for the construction of 123 vessels, counting the 50 we have ordered for the Coast Guard, which included the 5 we have ordered from Davie's. This total represents the largest order ship since Franklin Delano Roosevelt submitted his last budget in 1945. Rest assured that the Trump administration broadly and the Office of Management Budget in particular are committed to the success of the Arctic Security Cutter and the development of this shipyard. And I just want to close by saying you're going to hear a lot about foreign shipbuilding as we enter the debate in Congress over the next several months. And it's going to be pretty confusing because at the end of the day, what that debate's going to be about is what you are here today. It's about American investments in places like Texas, in the communities like Galveston. It's about new American jobs, and it's about new American ships that we would otherwise not be able to have. That is a debate that you, quite frankly, whether you knew it or not, you are kicking off today with this incredible billion-dollar investment in this shipyard and the start of these new Arctic security cutters. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Director Vogt. Ladies and gentlemen, we are almost at the end, but now, after we've heard about a shared vision of a renewed American shipbuilding industry starting right here in Texas, we're now going to mark the beginning of that next chapter. And I'd like our distinguished guests, our speakers, and the Davie and Gulf Copper leadership to come forward for the ceremonial groundbreaking. Thank you.
talking from the heart. It's easy.
Yeah, very good. That was really good. Superb.